Okay. So we have a flow put together a few postures. We're also going to look at some other postures. Remember what I said about bending and twisting. Now, when you come to a position like this that you take for granted, okay, you can do this no problem. But I go into some nursing homes, and if I have 50 people in a class, I'm lucky if I can get 3 who can do this. Okay? The mobility has changed. Some of them don't get out of the wheelchair, and even the ones that do get out of the wheelchair can't do this. So, there's the rare exceptions, the 3 out of the 50. Now, let's look at some other things. One way for them to get there in some gradual steps. Okay? One is the foot comes over next to the other foot. The foot crosses here. I start to straighten this leg out a little bit and go about halfway up. Some of them can do this, but the minute they put the foot in like this, it puts a lot of pressure on the hip, and they start to wince as they start to draw up. This is also what I showed you, a stage-by-stage way to work with seniors or somebody who's physically challenged to get them from one step to the next. So let's look at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You and I might not think about things this way, but if you were a person who had a lot of problems in your hips, you definitely would be all too aware of it. Okay, at this point, we're not going to do those twists. So we've already got this thing going. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale up and exhale forward. Reach forward. Now, some of them with back problems and so forth, not going to be able to get in so deep, and they're going to start to feel their hip on the right side screaming. So what you have to do is you have to work with them and make sure, look at faces, tell them they're not supposed to force, and then come back up. So if we breathe with this, we're going to inhale up top, good, and then exhale forward. Good. Inhale up, one more, and exhale forward. Inhale up, and exhale back to namaste hands. Okay, we're going to switch and go to the other side. Again, in steps, we've got next to it, across, extending the right leg, bring it up halfway, bring it all the way up, or slide it in. Anyone who takes everything for granted always amazes me, because I work with a bunch of different types of students. I work with one student who, for her to get from the wheelchair to the walker, and then to another bench, and then to the floor, we've used up an hour and a half. We've done postures, but we've used up an hour and a half. And for her to move from each thing, from each stage, doing postures in the wheelchair, doing postures on the walker, doing postures on a bench where her back is not supported. This person has ataxia, and Friedreich's ataxia, as a matter of fact, and for her to do all of that and then to finally get down to the floor is a major accomplishment. So when anyone starts to look at some of these things and take them lightly, be thankful that you've never had any problems, you've never had any disabilities. I wouldn't wish some of the neurological disorders that I've run into and seen students have on anyone. Okay, here we go. Inhale up. Good, and then exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. And exhale forward. Inhale up. And exhale back to namaste.